Hey, what's up everyone? This is going to be a random topic video regarding several things that I feel like talking about just really quickly. And yes, it's a black screen video, but there is the first thing a couple of days ago when I went back in the house for a moment. I had the vehicle keys and the house key together around my neck, and I walked into the house. I went to the kitchen, then I heard a voice, and I heard the door. Then I heard someone walk back into the hallway and go into my granny's old bedroom, where before was where she used to be before she passed away. And I turn around and I go back to the door, the back door, and it's chained. There's a chain on it. I'm like, oh, please don't do that to me while we're gone, because if something chained the door while we're gone, all we'd have is the key. Just unlock the door, the actual door lock. We wouldn't have the. I mean, you couldn't get in the house with a chain being chained, and that's what happened. I said, please don't do that. Of course, it was early in the morning, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning hour, which is usually when I messed with most of the time. But another thing is activity was rampant last night. Everything was rampant. Everything was happening. There was a lot of interdimensional activity, spirit activity. I heard multiple booms, which sounded like explosions. I don't know if it's underground tunnels being built. I don't know if it's experiments. I don't know if interdimensional things are happening. I don't know if it's earthquake related or what, but I know that in the northern sky, directly north, there were booms, very loud explosions, and underground as well. And it caused our dog, one of our dogs, the dog Lucy, Lizzie didn't like it either, but and then Red started barking because she got loose. And she never gets loose. She just started running around and she ran to the door and follows me back like, tie me back, tie me back. But she was, they feel safer that way. She was like ballistic because something had exploded multiple times, making several booms, shaking the ground even, and the air. Then later in the night, paranormal and supernatural activity took place. And there were multiple grunts, growls, strange vocals, chattering, and wood knocking, clanking, metal sounds, and pretty much, you name it. And then, by the way, haven't felt great. Pray for a good day, please. Um, but it was flipping crazy though with it, as far as the way the way I felt lately, and it was like, but the activity was quite a bit. Something even tapped on the vehicle door. And then that drone thing or plane that I video went over toward the facility areas. Facility. On Jim Carrey reference there, facility. On the hill, or in the hills. A couple of miles into the hills. And couldn't do much spotlight shining because people were around. I didn't want to shine it on properties or anything. But then a mysterious fog came in the hills and everything, and I had to go back in the house eventually. And seems like after daylight I start getting sleepy. Right after daylight, right after daybreak. But I had a weird dream yesterday. Two of them, actually. And I felt like I was being abducted. I had my arms by my side, even when I woke up. And I was like pulling back to my body. My hands were to my side, my fingers were making these certain symbols. And felt like I was being, it was like a nightmare, but awake. And awake and asleep at the same time. I was aware of being on the couch. I was aware of, and I had all the lights off so I could sleep. Then I have Google or Alexa turn them back on because it's simpler for us that way, for convenience purposes. And so the lights were off and I was relaxing. Woke up and having those hand motions and my body jolting, kind of like it was like an epileptic situation, really, the way I was moving. Or a, what situation? Taking over. Being taken over situation. But it was like I was in an abduction position. It's like arms to the side, and I was sitting there jolting. And, of course, I know they say when you eat beef or something before you go to sleep, or burger meat or something like that, a burger, that you can have nightmares, right? It's not very smart to do that and then fall asleep, but so I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. But the feeling that I had was like abduction or being taken over by a negative entity, or like an epileptic attack. That's what it looked like. Then I finally pulled out of it, raised upward, and then fell back asleep. Something would not let me, and something's keeping me from meditating. I've been able to meditate in I don't know how long. Still can't. I'm gonna have to try to concentrate and try to do it. But I also saw something that was moving the opposite direction of my spotlight last night when I looked back at the recording, so I'll have to check that out. Took some screenshots. But yeah, that's what happened, like an abduction feeling last night. And one of the dreams that I had was I was this young boy. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, that just came back to me last night. And I was sitting there. I told Mama about it. I'm thinking, I don't even want to remember it. Never mind. I don't even want to try to remember the whole thing. I was this boy that had committed suicide. Or he had killed himself. Whichever the proper terminology they want you to say now is. And he had taken his own life. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, wait a minute. I don't even want to remember that. He shot himself in the head in the dream. And I was this young boy, probably 8 years old. And I can remember walking around as a spirit of this child after I had done it. As someone else. It wasn't me. It was a totally different boy. It was this blonde-haired child, I believe. I can't remember what else that he was wearing, but I can't remember what he was wearing. I just remember blonde hair. And it was a young, skinny, blonde-haired boy. And a child. And he had done that at such a young age. But obviously, you never know what's going through someone's mind or their mental conditions or anything. But, I mean, it was like I was that child. And that's what happened. And I can still see the grieving parents over them. I can still see the grieving parents over their body, over them and everything. And then I tried, then I can't remember the rest of it. I don't even think I want to. But, move on to whomever that was. I don't know what their situation was. It was a child. So, maybe something with the mind there. Maybe they won't be judged if that was real. But it was maybe, I hope it wasn't like a past life of mine. I don't know. Or another life of mine. It's crazy what we deal with and what we go through. Another thing I noticed is I was getting some recommendations of various music. I noticed that a lot of music now, though, I really wish they wouldn't. They go in a darker direction for control, for pushing the darker agenda. But in the past, this other YouTuber was talking about how these people that feel their music differently, and they have a different appearance, like an old soul. I don't know if that's right or not. No, I'm an old soul. I'm an old earther. But what they are is like they've been through heck and been through trauma within no period of just a short period of time. Like Lorde and Billie Eilish. I noticed that there's 2 songs of theirs that I liked. Well, 2 songs of. I like Yellow Flicker Beat by Lorde. I like Team, and I like Royals by Lorde. But those are my favorites. And one other one that's really short. Tennis Court, maybe? Yeah, Tennis Court, I think. There's another one that's really short. The red, orange, yellow flicker be sparking up my heart up my, ooh, you know that song. I can't sing right now because I'm super sleepy, but the the passion that she put into it and what she seemed like she had been through so much. Well, there was a similar thing that Billie Eilish is doing, even though she can't sing like Lorde. Their beats are similar, and there's something it's completely different about them, but the same at the same time. Like the same, I don't know if it's like the same kindred spirit, the same energy feel when they do their thing, except it seems like Billie Eilish is being pushed in more of a darker direction. She's supposed to help people with darkness and depression, but she seems like she just kind of pushes more of the darkness and depression. Two of her best beated songs are the of hers are "Bad Guy" and um, "Crown." Those have a really good beat, but I mean, of sound, if you use headphones or earbuds, music videos are kind of dark. They're more of a dark, sinister feel or direction. So I really wish they wouldn't do that in the industry. If you watch the interview of her 16-year-old versus 17-year-old self, or is it 15 and 16-year-old, 2017, 2018 interviews of her, you'll see the difference. And she seems like she's become more, the aura of hers has become more traumatized than it was before. And she said, I wouldn't wish the music industry on anyone. That's what she stated. A year in, and she stated, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The darkness and negativity and everything. That's what she was stating. And even though she has all that money and all that fame, if I did, I'd be helping other people out with it, I tell you that. And the irony of her video there where they showed she's on this pile of money, but wishing she didn't have it, but yet, if I had that money, I would be helping people out, believe me. But she seems to have been placed into the music industry. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, placed. And then from, Old Town Road, which was made famous by Billy Ray Cyrus, it wouldn't have been as famous without him at all. It went nowhere until he put his name on it and sung on it. And by the way, he can sing without auto-tune. Billy Ray Cyrus can sing without auto-tune. Most of these artists today cannot sing for crap. But if you look at those two, there's a similar feel and agenda. But there's a similar... Lorde didn't really have an agenda. She had a similar feel with her music and sound. But yet they're from opposite sides of this world. But yet they had a similar aura about them. Maybe I'm wrong, except Billie Eilish is being pushed onto the scene and being used for pushing kind of darkness. Kind of like that Venom movie, and they use the music videos to push, it's like, well, the evil is a hero, demonic side is a hero. I mean, I like stuff like that in movies and shows, and sometimes it's kind of interesting, the mysterious side, like Raven on Teen Titans, but they utilize that power for good. But they, if as long as you utilize your gifts for good, but they push the dark side and glamorize it and glorify the negativity and dark side too much in the media. And I think they're doing that, I know they are doing that with her, like when she killed the flowers in that Crown music video. You Should See Me with a Crown or whatever. She kills these flowers and everything just dies, and there's this evil being. I mean, you can see that they are pushing that in her videos, just like they do with many of these music videos. And they have to do the one eye symbolism. They have to do this, that, or the other. And it would be nice to see... Just heard a scream sound in the background out the window, and the birds completely went silent. Wow. The birds heard it. They went completely silent when that happened. There they go again. But it would be nice to see people utilize talent. She could be utilized as a light worker, but instead these artists utilize their particular, I don't know whether you call, she's not really using a gift or anything, but you can see something in her and they're utilizing it for the dark side. You can utilize it for one or the other, light or dark. And they utilize so much of people's talent or gifts, which I don't really see much. Lord had talent and gifts. Vocals, beats, everything. Billie Eilish is being used for, she talks. She seems to be able to sing without autotune, but yet she just talks. Kind of like ASMR style music. And it seems that they utilize her for pushing the dark side and the dark agenda. For negativity. But anyway, that's my thoughts of the moment of different things. But the dreams that I had, I had an out-of-body experience. I felt like I was being attacked. I looked like when I woke up I could see myself, but coming back to my body, I was having it looked like an epileptic seizure. That's what it felt like. It looked like. Jolting all around. And then I remembered a dream about this boy that had killed himself. And I was that boy, that child, probably an 8-year-old, this blonde child. And I tried not to remember any more about that. And I was witnessing this, but it was like me, witnessing above this child and what had happened. And then the parents were grieving over his passing, over his death. And it was a deep, deep dream. Then I was pulled back out of that and pulled back to my body and woke up in this realm. So that was one of the dreams, or two of the dreams. So, various talks, a dream journal, and many other topics of the day. So, peace, much love. I'll make another video regarding the artists and singers and things, like Lorde and Billie Eilish and the comparison of the two. You actually look at two of their songs, and they sound like they mash up together. So, it's almost like a copy of each other. Only Lorde sang it better. But, anyway, those are the dreams I had as well. Peace. This has been a Dream Diary / podcast. Peace, everyone. Signing out.